Massively partner in brief of ongoing progress work on the Shagamu Lagos infrastructure.
Bring all the traffic into this direction.
We are going to work to ensure that better during the road will.
Good day and welcome to another interesting episode of your program, Infrastructure Weekly. On this program, we x-ray the achievements of the Buhari administration in the area of infrastructure development. We also bring to you the many ongoing projects across the country in the roads, power, housing, and other sectors. On this week's episode, we will be taking you around roads, rail, housing, and the power sectors. I am Abosede Omowi. Join us after this break to delve into the program proper.
Coming together of opportunities. This is what
infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
There is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television, Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QTV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
The issue of standards and continuation of projects abandoned or uncompleted by previous administrations has been legendary and has left Nigeria suffering from the loss of revenue when such projects are abandoned. The advent of the Buhari administration has seen to the end of this phenomenon, with many abandoned projects now getting attention. The administration has also assured Nigerians that such projects, which are of strategic nature to the people of Nigeria, will be completed and given the required attention and focus. The government has also assured Nigerians that projects such as the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and its 2 sections will be completed to standards to the benefit of all Nigerians. Let's take a listen to Infrastructure Weekly's visit to the site.
The federal government, in furtherance of its infrastructure development agenda, had reactivated the construction of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, dividing into 2 sections, with construction giants Julius Berger and Reynolds Construction Company handling each of the 2-part projects. The road, which is the busiest highway in the country, has suffered neglect and forced dawns over the past 19 years, but the Buhari administration intensified efforts to deliver it with the Lagos toll gate end to Shagamu interchange and the Shagamu interchange to Ojo in Ibadan, both receiving major attention, with a subsequent reduction in travel time and enhancement of business. The project manager in charge of the Lagos-Shagamu end of the road from the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Kayode Ibrahim, said the ministry is working to supervise the contractor and deliver a world-class project. He added that the ministry is also working to ensure that the project is delivered to specifications.
Federal Ministry of Work has standard and specification which is strictly adhered to. Every contractor must adhere to our specification. For instance, in this place, we ensure that the contractors follow strictly our specification. Now you can see they are removing the bad portion of the road. So we are bringing in laterite, which has a specification. And that it is tested first at the borough pit. And right here where we are working, we carry out tests before they lay. And as soon as they lay, we also carry out tests on the finished work.
He assured commuters that all issues, especially those concerning traffic, will be attended to by both the ministry and the traffic unit of the contractor.
You are definitely going to have some little bit of discomfort traffic-wise. But in this instance, we have made sure that you have 2 vehicles can go at the same time, both bounds. So if the commuters and the vehicle operators, if they are patient with one another, you have free flow of traffic. The problem is usually impatience. But if people are patient enough, and we have the traffic unit, the contractor have their traffic units very well in operations.
He also commended the federal government for the pace the project had picked up since the inception of the Buhari administration, describing it as unprecedented, having witnessed several false dawns on the project over the years.
This is work in progress. So every drainage has to have a discharge. We have not done up to discharge yet. So when we get to discharge and the road is in full operation, the drainages will not be blocked. Of course, there's needs for maintenance, and we have a maintenance unit in the ministry. The ministry have a maintenance unit, FEMA, so they will maintain the road. It is very, very necessary that there must be maintenance. So if the road is maintained, and also Nigerians must not be blocking our drains.
The project has also seen the return to work of hitherto laid-off workers of the contractor, Julius Berger. They thanked the federal government and President Muhammadu Buhari for the decision to reactivate the project.
I was working in Benin. Recently, about last 3 months, I was laid off. But when this project now started, they have to call me back. What will I have to say is that he should put more effort, because he's tried, but he should put more effort.
I'm not working.
So this project is the one that brought you down?
Yes. Well, this project bring me down to here. They employed some of our workers. No job.
Now that they have employed you, why did they employ you?
Because the job is just coming up. Now maybe from next week or next month they start to employ, because the job is moving forward.
But this project has given you job?
Yes.
Work is currently ongoing on both sections of the expressway, with the Lagos-Shagamu end currently receiving attention on the 2-kilometer stretch between Ibafo and Asheshe before the redemption camp.
Still on the road sector, the federal government says it will always be proactive in addressing issues of infrastructure decay. The government also says it will do everything possible to address the issue of the nation's premier port complex, the Apapa Port Complex, through not only the decongestion of the port of articulated vehicles, but also award of contracts for the rehabilitation of the network of roads surrounding the complex, and that aside the major ongoing access road. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, who made the disclosure in Abuja, said the federal government has approved the award of road contracts for the surrounding area up till the Oworonshoki end, which was the initial road network for the port built in 1975.
Creek Road, Tinkan Island, Beachland, right through to Oworonshoki, all the way to the Lagos end of the toll gate end of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The full reconstruction of that road, which was built, I believe, in and around 1975 as part of our first port expansion undertaken then in the 70s. That road was intended to evacuate cargo out of Lagos without running through the spine of the city. As you all know, and as you have variously reported, it was in some state of disrepair. Council has approved its reconstruction at a cost of 72.9 billion naira. This is a full reconstruction, excluding the part between Coconut and Mile 2, which had been done by the previous administration.
For inquiries, comments and feedback, get in touch with us on any of the social media handles showing on your screen. Join us after this break for more on Infrastructure Weekly. on from the decision by the federal government through the Transmission Company of Nigeria to expand transmission capacity to match generation and go beyond it, the Transmission Company of Nigeria is working assiduously to deliver on some of the project to meet set target. Infrastructure Weekly visited the site of the expansion of the 132 kVA line from Ikorodu to Shagamu, from one 132 kVA line to two 132 kVA line running between Shagamu and Ikorodu to see the status of the project. Let's take a listen to the level of work done so far.
The federal government has intensified efforts aimed at completing over 100 projects designed to help in bridging the nation's capacity gap in the transmission end of the power value chain. The transmission projects, according to the Minister of Power Works and Housing, will help in taking the transmission end of the power value chain past generation and enhance distribution. With the commissioning of the Odogunyan transmission substation earlier in the year, the need for enhancement of the network, which also encompasses thousands of homes within Lagos and Ogun State, became more pressing. The project will also help in addressing the issue of power outages in the area from Ikorodu to Shagamu and Ijebu-Ode, as well as the adjoining communities of Ibafu, Mowe, and others. The Assistant General Manager, Egbin Zone, of the Transmission Company of Nigeria said the project is of vital importance to the company and Nigerians along the corridor where the project will cover.
We have the capacity to be on 2 circuits from Shagamu to Ikorodu substation. It's going to increase our capacity, flexibility, in the sense that when one line goes off, the other won't take over. The capacity is in form of the old line is reconductor to carry 90 MVA, but the single line of this new construction is going to be 126 MVA. So we have capacity we call 2 by 126 MVA, which is going to be 254.
The transmission manager at the Ikorodu transmission substation described the project as a game changer for the station and the people living around the axis. She added that the project will also enhance safety for the station.
Okay, like you can see that we have a new 122 kV coming in, going out of this Ikorodu to Shagamu 122 kV line 2. That will help to increase the capacity of electricity being generated or being given out to our consumers, and it will help the environment. You can see most times people complain of no power, so we are trying to the government is trying to see the way to alleviate a lot of power issues that we're having in the country by increasing the power capacity in the station, also making sure that most of our consumers do not have any reason to complain. Initially we used to have a 2 by 60 MVA transformer in the station and 100 MVA transformer. But later another one was added, making it 3 by 60 MVA transformer, and that also you can see that most of our feeders initially they were complaining. Most people will find out that we do a lot of load shedding to make sure that there is a stability in the system. But now we are no longer doing load shedding on the system with the help of the new 60 MVA transformer that have been added to the station.
The contractor handling the project, Westcom, speaking through its project manager, said the construction has reached an advanced stage that will require the shutting down of some consumers to string both sides of the project together.
We are changing the old line, the existing old line, with replacing it with double circuit line on the lattice towers and tubular monopoles. As I said, the entire line has 44 kilometers. As it is now, the completion of this line is around 70%.
He also promised that once other impediments, especially the delivery of the materials still at the ports, are removed, the project will be delivered by the end of the year.
Actually, now we are working on the erection and the stringing of the conductor from Ikorodu, from Shagamu towards Ikorodu. This line is feeding a substation at Odogunyan and another 8 companies, steel companies, cement factory, which is behind us here. The existing line was 132 kV line, single circuit. Now we are doing this 132 double circuit, which which will increase the energy on this one and the power to supply.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, however, assured Nigerians and residents living in the corridor of a swift completion of the project. It added that it will deliver more stable power supply to the axis.
The community will enjoy better supply. If we have been able to give them supply before, let me put it at 75%, it can go up to 90%, 95%. We cannot achieve 100, but it can go up to 95. In the sense that now, when we lose a line, the whole axis is in darkness. It can't be so again. When we lose one line, we can change to the. It's only the consumption that we will ask people to reduce, not that they will be in total blackout.
The project will also bring into play transmission substations currently undergoing construction within the area.
Join us after this break for a look at the economic impact of the National Housing Program on small-scale business owners across the country. Don't go away.
Coming together of opportunities, and this is what
infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
There is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television, Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QTV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
The National Housing Program, since inception, has been a source of employment for artisans and laborers on site. It has also been keeping many indigenous contractors and suppliers in business and led to expansion of their businesses. Let's take a listen to this report on the benefits of the program to this category of Nigerians.
The ongoing National Housing Program by the federal government in Benin, Edo State, is generating over 3,000 employments for skilled and unskilled workers, including contractors, artisans, building material suppliers, block molders, as well as empowerment to families within the locality and Nigeria at large. Julius Ibekwe is a beneficiary and his wife a food vendor at the site. Regina Ibekwe commends the federal government for creating means of livelihood for some of them through the project, while stating that she earns about 35,000 naira daily. The Ibekwe couple has generated money to take care of their children's education and also bought a land to build their own house.
I benefited very well. So my wife is selling here. She's making money. I am working for them very well. Their things are not losing, so the community is good also. They are not coming here to take what does not belong to them.
I thank God for giving me opportunity this hour to speak. I thank God as open here for me, and they say well, and that they use the money where I say here they train my children. I thank God for the good thing where una do for me. God go bless una. Here open and they make our area to open. It make the village open more.
The 64-unit housing project is located at Edumwen, Eigie, along Benin-Auchi Road in Umwode local government area of the state. During an inspection tour by the Ministry of Power Works and Housing, site managers say the ongoing project has about 12 different contractors and is at 80% completion stage.
The quality is good. Specification is very good, and the bottom line of this project is that everything we are using is from Nigeria. Nothing is imported. From the cement to the doors, they are all locally made.
Since we have been working, we employ so many people, and then the atmosphere is good. We are enjoying the work.
My income has enhanced, and I've had the opportunity to also get more experience as it has to do with house building.
Capital Monshimibai. I am a carpenter here, and with the work I am doing here, I feed my family and pay my children's school fees. So I thank God.
Road construction is also ongoing at the site for easy access to the housing estate, which will in turn boost economic activities in the state.
The project is ongoing. By the special grace of God, as you can see, the work is moving. Okay. My equipments are here. We have been able to clear the site, and we're facing the topsoil on the site. As soon as we evacuate the topsoil, then filling is the next.
The National Housing Estate in Aniola North Local Government Area of East Sele Azagba, Delta State, has 68 units of residential buildings and a condominium of 24 units. It has created over 1,000 employment opportunities for the people, and the construction of houses also includes schools and recreation centers.
We are doing this project for the benefit of the public. The benefit is twofold. There's economic benefit on the workers, the community, the contractors, and even the staff, in-house staff, because everything is local content, 100%.
It's need for us to provide adequate security here. So we have to meet with the police and with the SSS. But for now, there's no security situation in this place. This place is peaceful, and that's why you can see workers working conveniently without any problem.
The electrical infrastructure contractor is already on course. This estate is going to have a good electrical distribution system comprising of transformers, overhead distribution unit, street lighting. So when you may be passing through here, when the estate is finally finished, you think it is another Dubai. Because if you have ever been to Dubai, in the night you think it is daylight. So everywhere will be lighted up. And interestingly too, there is provision for good water distribution scheme. In this estate, there's provision for borehole, treatment plant, tower, and overhead tanks. We cannot talk of a good planning without open spaces. Open spaces for facilities such as recreational areas, nursery schools, green beds, post office, commercial areas, and so on and so forth. So there is also provision for all of these facilities in this housing estate.
With all these positive projects across the country by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government, its objectives are to address and improve socio-economic conditions through employment generation, poverty alleviation, and empowerment of Nigerians.
The federal government has disclosed that the moves to take the nation's infrastructure to the next level will require teamwork and solid patriotism on the part of all Nigerians. This, according to the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, is the base minimum upon which success in the sector will be built. The minister, who spoke to the top management team of the ministry in Calabar, added that government is putting machinery in place to bring more succor to Nigerians in terms of infrastructure development.
Around May 2015, the story was that transmission was the biggest problem on the power sector grid. The story was that there was not enough power to supply. The story was that the distribution companies were complaining that they didn't have enough energy to give to Nigerians. We were distributing averagely 2,690 megawatts. That story also has changed. Distribution has reached 5,222, an all-time national high. Transmission has reached 7,000. Generation has reached 7,000. The problems are not finished, but clearly the point I wish to make is that we have made progress. When last we met, we were talking about a team. You recall? That was our focus.
The federal government has disclosed that the moves to take the nation's infrastructure to the next level will require teamwork and solid patriotism on the part of all Nigerians. This, according to the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, is the base minimum upon which success in the sector will be built. The minister, who spoke to the top management team of the ministry in Calabar, added that government is putting machinery in place to bring more succor to Nigerians in terms of infrastructure development. That will be all on this week's episode of your program, Infrastructure Weekly. Be a good citizen, pay your tax, and continue to protect public utilities. They are for us all. Join us again for another interesting episode of the program. I am Abosedi Omowi. Bye for now.
Bring all the traffic into this direction.